you're a Christian, then this video must be important to you. And if you could understand the message therein, this could change the face of Christianity positively. Many of you are familiar with Karl Marx Transformation Story. Yes, the very Karl Marx we all read his amazing works. How he moved from being a dedicated Jewish boy, a God lover so to say, to becoming the founder of a communist movement, committing his follower to a life without God. What happened and how does this affect the Christendom? A few years ago, I was reading John C. Maxwell's book titled Developing the Leader Within You. Chapter 3 focused on integrity, the most important ingredient of leadership. And here I found Karl Marx's story again. But this time, I was hit differently. The story tells about a young Jewish boy who grew up in Germany many years ago. The lad had a profound sense of admiration for his father, who saw to it that the life of the family revolved around their religious practice of their faith. The father led them to synagogue faithfully. In his teen, the boy's family was forced to move to another town in Germany. The town had no synagogue, only a Lutheran church. The life of the community revolved around this Lutheran church. All the best people in the community belonged to it. Suddenly the father announced to the family they are all going to abandon their Jewish tradition and join the Lutheran church. When the stunned family asked why, the father explained, "Guys, this will be good for my business." At this point, Karl Marx was bewildered and confused. His deep disappointment soon gave way to tense anger and bitterness that plagued him throughout his life. If you understand how deep religion influences our life, then you will understand the disappointment in Karl Marx's eye. How could you suddenly change the worship, the belief, the deep spirituality I was born into just because of your business? Do you mean all this consecration, going to synagogue every now and then, was nothing but for survival? The father's failed integrity created a big hole, not just for the family, but for the whole world. How much more could we say about the failed religious system, especially in Africa? You see, I'm making this video for those who made human their spiritual standard, and also to address the general darkness and weakness in the body of Christ. The lack of integrity is eating us deeply. In the year 2020, a woman was arrested after being used by 5 different churches for fake miracle. She has a disease that enables her to shrink and stretch her hand, and this became a business opportunity for some pastors because of lack of integrity. Just like Karl Marx's father, this pastor sees the church as business, and the woman is just a golden opportunity to mind control the congregation. This is more important to them than the gospel of Christ, which is all about the truth. How would you feel when you realize the miracle that got you crying like a baby, that got you born again, was faked? Will you be disappointed or demoralized? What about the long-term effects on your believing and trusting system? How do you think the world rates the church when this was discovered? Put all these together, Karl Marx felt worst.
Away from politics now, the purported healing of Bola Ola of a hand deformity from Ibarakba in Oyo State by 4 pastors has made Christian believers and non-believers question the authenticity of some miracles by pastors.
Here's another pastor who did this, but was caught at the airport with cannabis wrapped all around his body. How sure are we that all these were not faked just to pull the crowd? Lack of integrity hitting us deep.
Officers of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested the General Overseer of Christ Living Hope Church with 54 sticks of drugs wrapped around his body, which tested positive for cannabis at the Muslim Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja, en route Nairobi, Kenya.
How do you feel when you see your senior pastors, those you consider highly spiritual, prophesying and singing praises of terrible politicians? Election is coming and we've got a lot of prophecies flying here and there. Failed integrity. How would you feel when you realize that many religious leaders are out there to mind control you just for personal gain? How do you feel when you realize the selfishness and greediness in the Christendom is worse than some of those in government. As the love of money, fame, power, mind control increases, integrity in the body of Christ diminishes, and this weakens the Christendom. Christ said, will I find such faith on earth when I return? Even though churches increases every day, yet true faith decreases every minute. Return integrity today, and the spirit of the early church will return to us. Many Christians are weakened. Many are going to church just for fun's sake, not for the faith, but for religious practice. Dear friends, are you like Karl Marx, who put his trust in his father but ended up being disappointed? There's nothing wrong with having role models, but you must remember that humans are limited and only God knows the deepest secrets of man's heart. Remember, Christianity is not a religion, but a life fashioned in the likeness of Christ. So Christ is the standard, not doctrine, not man. Man might disappoint you. For they that will worship God will worship Him in spirit and in truth. Without the truth, there is no worship. And without true worship, there is no Christianity. Integrity, the most important ingredient in Christianity. I'm Oluwaseun Adeoye. Hope to see you in the next episode.